Welcome back to No Need to Scroll, the show where I'm chronically online so you don't have to be. This is episode 2, and today I have a lovely guest here in the studio with me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Helen Howard. I'm a senior journalism major, and I am the music director at the radio station, and I also have the pleasure of, I want to say teaching, but I don't know if it's actually teaching Turner once a week and helping him make audio content. So it's been fun.
Overseeing, perhaps.
Yeah.
Helping out. Being a lovely friend. So.
Yes, of course. A mentor, maybe. I don't know if we go that far, but who knows?
I'd posit that much. I'd give you that.
Okay. I won't toot my horn too much, but
there you go. I'll toot it for you. That's what friendship's about. If you can't toot for anybody else, then what's the point of all them beans?
So true. You have to be able to lean on a friend when you need to.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you have stomach issues. Some of us toot a lot. And we're just going to have to go with that.
No, that's me every day. I feel like I've been having stomach problems every day on the dot on Mondays, and maybe that's just I feel like Garfield, I just hate Mondays, but
my
it's
lasagna.
bad. Yep.
No, it is. I mean, not to be first 2 minutes poop talk, but I feel you. It's just the body ain't working itself, and that's because of coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm laying off for today. Today I have my hydro in the studio. We're getting a good slurp.
Yep. I'll definitely be drinking my water at some point.
Yeah, at some point is the key word.
Yep.
That's with our green water bottles.
We're so outdoorsy, granola.
No, and we have to be, even though we don't go outside.
True. We live here.
You have to own your truth, and that's mine.
Yes, same.
I am curious, how's your week been?
It's been okay. I want to kind of say, though, that, I don't know. I feel like this week was, slow, but not in a, I'll take that. No drama, nothing too notable happening, but also, nothing bad. So I'm okay, it's fine. I had my first test this semester. I did well, but also I'm it was literally multiple choice online. So I'm girl, that's why. And I don't know. This is random, but I also started and not to sound like that girl, but I did start cleaning out my closet. So I've been listing a lot of stuff on my Depop.
Oh my God.
I'm in my Depop seller era. So I've been sending out packages. So I did a lot of that this week too. But it was actually fun. I promise I'm not scamming. I'm literally selling stuff for $10. I just want it gone.
Well, you see, that's perfect because I'm in my Depop buyer era. So
yes.
I can help out. I'll just throw
Okay.
you the 20, grab a pair of boots and some shirts, and we'll be set.
Perfect.
Honestly.
New drop whenever I take more pictures. So yeah.
You want to give them the at?
I think it's literally just
Helen Howard.
Yeah, it's probably I think it's my Instagram handle. So consistency, I guess. But yeah. If you want any old what do I have on there now? I have sold stuff. If you want stuff I thrifted and just never ended up wearing, I also have sold Taylor Swift merch that I don't wear and random stuff like that, gifted. I feel maybe that's oh, she made a profit, but I've sold a lot of stuff that I was gifted that I never wore. And I feel kind of bad about it, but also it's
hey, you're putting it back into the world.
That's
you're keeping
true.
that chain a moving.
I just I'm so specific. That's why when I buy gifts for people, it has to be something they either told me they want or a gift. I don't want to say a gift card because I don't really buy gift cards, but something general enough, but also
Practical, too.
You don't know what shirt from the Mitski website I want or whatever.
No.
You got to let me pick. Give me a check. That's all.
God, no, I feel that. Just hand me the money. Well, and I say that, but here I am. I have a notes app list with maybe 20 things for whenever Christmas rolls around. Honestly, you're not going to have to guess. I'm going to give you a bunch of options, and you can pick for me.
But that's why you're the best friend, though, because I am so bad at buying gifts for people that I know super well because I set my expectations so high of it has to be a good gift. But if you're just there's this shirt on the I want the new Lord 10-year Pure Heroin anniversary shirt, I'd be perfect, I'll buy you it. And then I don't have to feel bad. You do know what you're getting, but also you can be so excited you already know what you're getting.
Literally. And you don't have to stress out about it because either way, you're either getting handed something that you then feel you have to care about when it's not something you care about, or if you're the gift giver, you're sitting there oh, you're telling me I have to actually figure out a practical purchase for this person
Yeah.
and spend ample money on it. When you know it's something they're going to care about, dropping the 40, 60 on it doesn't feel that painful because you're like, I know that this is actually going to count.
Yeah, and like I know that people like my parents or like grandparents maybe have spent that amount of money on something I don't want, and then I feel so guilty. So it's like if you know that you're gonna wear it, but you're dropping a band, like okay, at least it's gonna get like whatever. I'm never gonna do the math equation of like if I wear it this many days, like it's worth this much or whatever. Like it's cost efficient. Like people say that about shoes. Like, oh, if you're,
Oh my
you know, like
God.
if you wear them every day, but they were $100, like it's worth it because whatever. I'm never gonna do that breakdown, but like if you see
Don't
me
make
in
me
it
do
enough,
math.
you know I got my use out of it.
Literally. I mean, hey, you and those cream Reeboks every damn day of your life, and that's okay. I respect it too. I do. I have them now.
I need new ones because they're really stained from work. But
Hey, you know where I got mine from? What is it
Depop?
called? No, literally they had a whole bunch of them. Is it Ross's? I think it was Ross.
Yeah, that's how I got hooked on them.
Literally, because they have a bunch of those there. I don't know what deal Reebok has with Ross, where they're like, we're just gonna give you all our old stuff we don't want.
That's how I got them because I like remember back in like I'm very weird. Like with shoes, like I wear Tevas. I have like, you know, a pair of Doc Martens and
Okay.
sneakers. But I'm very like I want to just be able to put on a shoe and not think about that part of my outfit. Like I want my shoes to be able to match everything. So that's why I always have a neutral sneaker. And in 2018-19, it was like those Adidas Superstars.
Okay.
And then I was like, no, those are not cute to me anymore. And I needed something new. And I went, I think, to like TJ Maxx and they had them. And I was like, oh, I need new shoes. They're $20. Like, okay.
And now they're here with you.
Yep. And
They've
well, these
lived
aren't the
their
exact
lives.
pair, but it's
Okay,
like now
well,
I'm
yeah.
hooked and now I have to pay whatever, 50, which is fine, I guess. But now it's like I bought into the shoe. But
Me
yeah.
and my Converse, we go so hard. We go far. We go back.
Which color? I haven't seen your.
I'm actually not wearing Converse today, so
Oh.
that makes me look really fake. I
Damn.
wear my black ones a lot. I wear my white ones a lot. I have a red pair that my parents bought. Sorry, that I don't wear as often, but that's just because it's hard to match like a bright color shoe, you know?
Did you not just prove my point though? Like you can't be gifted it. You gotta pick it.
But I asked for it.
Oh.
I asked for it.
Never mind.
Oh no. Oh God, I'm a liar. No, and I do like them. I have worn them several times. I just haven't gotten them like into the rotation because okay, I'm somebody who has to wear a shoe that is like an accent color of the outfit. I can't wear if it matches too much.
Yeah.
I can't wear a green hoodie and green shoes because then I just feel stupid. If I'm wearing a blue hoodie with like green details or green text, then I can wear green shoes. Do I have green shoes? No. But my point stands. I'm making
Yeah.
I love how I asked you how your week was. We've been sitting here for 5 minutes. Like, you know, I love Depop.
Literally.
What about me? What about me, Helen?
Yes. How was your week?
Thank you for asking me, Helen. I really appreciate that,
Oh.
Helen. My week has been so it's been bad.
Oh no.
No, but it's okay, but it's been bad. Like, okay, cuz I am doing so much right now. I got so many jobs. I got hella homework. And it's like you think you're fine until you're not. And I'll have like a long day of just club, another club, bus, gig, another gig. And it's like, I think I've got this. I think I'm doing okay. And then I finally go to bed at some unforgivable hour. And then the next morning, I realize I forgot to set my alarms. And then I wake up halfway through the day and I missed a class. And you know? So it's like you have one really incredibly productive day where you're like, wow, I made it through that. And then you tank.
Yep.
And I've had like 2 of those tanked days in a row. So I'm just like,
It's relatable. Like I did see a Teams message from you at about 4:30 a.m.
No!
And I was like, I feel bad because he either has been up and
Or
sent that,
just woke
or he woke up.
No. See, that was me going to bed at 5 and then waking up at 8 so I can shower for today. Don't be silly.
Oh,
Me and this smooth skin.
You're like a clean girl. You wake up at 5 and you go to the gym and then you get breakfast.
Oh, I wish. If I could go back to the gym, if I could get back in that era, I'd be such a
Yeah.
happy little camper, but right now it freaks me out.
No, I feel that. And because I also have had so many eras. Well, I keep saying era, but I've had so many like phases where it's like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Like I will never wake up that early to go, but I will go if I like fit it in the schedule. But then it's just like, it's always school or work or something like happens that becomes too important, and then
Literally.
I'm like, I can't factor it in.
The funny thing is, I actively, like, I made a weekly schedule that I'm supposed to stick to, like, on this little app, Good Notes. Like, I did the whole 9 yards. I literally have my gym time scheduled into my week in 2 different spots at least, and I do not go a single day. Have not gone since, like, early summer. Like, it just hasn't happened because I've been too much of a mess. And if I go, I'm going to freak out. Because what if there's a bunch of scary freshmen there that are going to look at me like I'm an idiot?
Is it like in the middle of the day? Is it like something you could like, because I don't know if it's like a time that's like, I'm not doing, is it a time where it's like, oh, I could just do something else instead so I won't go to the gym?
It's literally the morning.
Oh.
Like, it's literally just like, if I go to bed at a normal time and then I wake up at an okay time, I could go to the gym and then I could shower and head to work.
Mm-hmm.
But then instead I'm up till like 3, 4, 5 the night before, and then I wake up later than I should, and then I'm like, well, I gotta speed get ready so I can go to work so I'm not late.
Yeah.
And even the mornings I have perfectly gotten up on time and I set for the next day to go to the gym, I wake up and I'm like, that sounds scary.
Mm-hmm.
What if that's too much to handle?
Yeah. Are you the type of person that like wakes up and rots in bed for a bit? Or do you get up right away?
I mean, okay, back when I had a floor bed, a normal bed, a normally in the air, not in the air, shall I say, bed, yes, absolutely, I was a rotten bed kind of girly. But now that I am like 5 feet in the air with no room, I get out of that bed like the second I'm not like actively sleeping. But I have a couch under my bed, which means then I sit on that couch for a while.
Yeah.
I set myself up for failure. I'm aware.
But I mean, you can at least say you got out of bed, you moved locations.
Damn straight. And, you know, thank you for that encouragement.
Yes.
I needed that. I think I needed that.
Because you're better than me, because I will wake up like semi early, like not way too early, but like 7:45, 8, and I don't have class till maybe like 11 or whatever.
Scandalous.
I know, but then I don't get out of bed until 9:30, and then I'm like, okay, well, now you actually have to do the things you said you were going to do before class or whatnot. And it's just like, it's a bad habit, but I'm like, at least I'm awake. But at some point it's like you gotta progress past, okay, you're awake at this time, you need to be like doing things at this time, but it's a journey, like we'll get there.
It's a journey. If we keep pushing, maybe.
Yeah.
I suppose people might want to hear about, dare I say, the internet.
Yes.
So starting out with the updates on everything we discussed in our last episode, Guts has come out recently. Have you heard it?
I feel really fake, but I haven't heard the whole album, but I've heard
the singles, I imagine.
I've heard the singles, and I've heard the songs that kind of, I think, have more like backstory in the internet. Like I really like Lacey.
Oh, I love Lacey.
And there's another one that I'm gonna forget the name of it. I like Making the Bed.
That is so funny. I have a feeling that we are on the same wavelength.
Probably.
So I didn't listen to it last time. Since then I have. Thank you, Naya, for encouraging me. And my favorites are Lacey, Making the Bed, and Pretty Isn't Pretty.
Yeah, that's real. I love a
Literally.
ballad.
I do. And Pretty Isn't Pretty is that perfect middle ground where it's like you're kind of indie pop, you're kind of a ballad, you're kind of just being generally sad with an upbeat theme. And it's like, ooh, that music hurts so good.
Yes.
Oh, I love Pretty
She
Isn't
knows how to hit
Pretty.
the sweet spot, because that was like my favorites on Sour, because I feel kind of hot and cold on Olivia Rodrigo sometimes. Like there's been songs where I'm like, I wish I liked this more, but the ones I really like, I like a lot. Like
That's how I feel.
like I liked Happier. I liked Deja Vu. Deja Vu was my favorite single, and then I liked One Step Forward, Three Steps Back, because I think the piano. But
The piano part was sampling Taylor.
yeah, which is probably why I liked it. But I feel like there was one more that I really liked, and I was like, damn, like I wish I liked the whole thing. But I'm like, the songs of hers that I really love are great. And then I'm like, I'm not like anti Olivia or anything, but I'm like, maybe they're just not all for me. Maybe I am like too old. I don't know.
Well, and I think the tough part is she's reached that part of overexposure, kind of like Taylor, where if you don't love her or feel like absolutely nothing, then you're like, yeah, I don't like her.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people just have a hard time even giving her a chance because she's reached such a height where they feel like they have to go against the grain, which, I mean, fair. I am that way with certain people, but
I am too, because I feel like I've had phases like that with Taylor too. Like,
yeah.
I grew up listening to her. I loved the country vibe. And then I kind of fell off around like Reputation just because it was so different from 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I loved like Lover dropped and I was like, okay, like there's some bops on here. Like I'll tip my toes back. And then like I loved Folklore. Like
Ooh,
I really like came back during that time.
Folklore Evermore.
But yeah. But then I'm like, but now it's like back to that feeling where it's like, okay, like I enjoyed that and it felt different and it felt like she was doing something different and pulling in new audiences. But now I'm like, and I really loved Fearless Taylor's version, but now I'm like, I'm here. I don't even have to like follow her on Instagram anymore to see every new update and hear every song and like hear my favorite parts of songs that are not my favorite anymore. Or like I will just need to take a back seat to and then maybe come back to when I don't hear them every day. But yeah, it's just like it's that overexposure, which kind of sucks because it makes like good art like feel not as good just because you've heard it too many times. It's like the same principle of like, oh, like that song's just on the radio too much. But now we have like so many more platforms where you're hearing it over and over. Like it's not just the radio, it's like TikTok and the Reels, anything, Twitter.
No, Taylor has faced a lot of oversaturation, which is not her fault, but it is kind of a brutal scenario to be in. That's funny to be like, Taylor Swift is in a brutal area. No, Taylor Swift will do just fine. But I do think it's fair to say that that kind of overexposure has made it a lot harder for her to have a natural kind of, I don't know, just a natural opinion with a lot of people.
Yeah, like, and like progression of like getting a fan base or like new people coming in and out. And like, let's be honest, like Taylor could quietly re-release the rest of these albums, you know, on a vinyl, on a CD, online. Didn't have to do 20 variants. No. She could just like quietly release them and then like move on with her life. Like, she's kind of milking it, I fear, but...
Oh, big time. Everything she does is milked. I don't necessarily think it's all her fault so much as being like the biggest star ever is going to have management and deals coming in and saying, sorry, but all of this has to be hyped up as much as we can. And I understand that, but it does get a little messy a little fast. But speaking of messy and fast, have you heard about Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, for those who aren't catching on? Their divorce.
That's my girl. Like, I'm on her side.
Yeah. Oh, she's so gorgeous. But, like, we went over a lot of it last time. And although all the details are there, it's only gotten messier since. So they're in this, like, really bad custody battle right now. And apparently she can't take the kids out of the greater New York City area right now. Because, like, days after Sophie was saying, I'm taking them to the UK, it didn't happen, you know, like she wanted to take the kids back to the UK. And then Joe was like, hold on now, wait a minute. Actually, we're going to plant right here. Right on here. And it's like,
no, you don't need to.
There was all this stuff about how these kids were supposed to, like Joe and Sophie had made an agreement that these kids were going to live their life in the UK. That was going to be that. And then they divorce, and then Joe's taking the kids. Apparently, Sophie went to federal court last week, citing a child abduction law and claiming Joe refused to turn over the passports of these kids. Like, they were supposed to be going to the UK, and Sophie's like, he's literally stealing my children. What?
Yeah.
She claimed that they had an agreement that the kids would live in the UK. And I guess Joe wasn't down for that? But, like, they can't legally do anything about it because a judge is like, sorry, I don't really care if y'all had an agreement. That doesn't look like a legally binding document to me.
Right. But then it's also like, okay, so you made this agreement, but now you changed your tune because we're on bad terms. Mm-hmm. But it's like, that's the thing. It's like, okay, your relationship is one thing, but the betterment of your kid's life is also another. And I find it so selfish when obviously he's prioritizing himself over that, because it's already stressful, like having divorced parents or like going through any of that, and like just to put more of that on the kids and like probably confuse them more is just so much. Like, I'm glad my parents divorced when I was like 4 and I don't remember like any of that, because literally. I'm sure, like, I know people whose parents were divorced later that takes such a toll on your life. And especially it's not even like whose house in what neighborhood are you going to? It's literally international travel.
Yeah. Mom,
Yeah.
I was 4. But, you move past.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me to think like being from another country, having kids with somebody, and then you're kind of going back and forth. You're doing your celebrity thing, and you think you're going to go back. Y'all have this big old divorce, and then a judge is like, no, you're staying in the New York City area. Sorry about it. Like, if she wants to be around those kids right now, she's got to stay literally in a different goddamn country.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, full circle moment, isn't Taylor Swift letting the kids and her stay at her apartment? I swear I saw something on Twitter about that.
I didn't hear about that, but I did know that Taylor and Sophie have been hanging big time, which is so funny because, like, obviously Joe and Taylor had their thing years ago, and then they all made up, and then Joe and Sophie were all cool. Well, now that there's this thing, her and Sophie are, like, bonded, and Joe's big bad man. So it's like, has this rebroken Taylor and Joe's like little friendship? Like,
I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like if I had gotten so close with like the wife of like an ex that was like when we were so young, I would be like full, like, that's my girl. Like, I would be on her side because I don't know. I just like, I find the rollout of the whole situation, not to like rehash it, I just find it so distasteful because it was, oh, she goes out too much. Oh, she never leaves the house. It's always just like pinning something negative on the woman to make him look better. It's never like, I don't know. None of what happened in that publicity, like PR rollout was ever about like how great Joe was. It was just all like anti-Sophie, I fear.
Yeah.
Like
It didn't have a lot of factual grounding. It was kind of all just ideal politics, which when all of those ideal politics were heavily rooted in sexist norms and on what one woman is doing in her idea of motherhood, it gets real ugly.
yeah. And like, why are we bringing that? Like, you could have just quietly gotten divorced.
No, legitimately.
Like, we could have just had, how many celebrity couples have just broken up? And you're like, I wonder what happened. Like,
and you move on.
many, yeah. Like,
and we move on.
exactly. And like, that poor woman. I'm like, I was trying to like fact check myself, but I'm like on 99% sure like Taylor Swift she made a statement, but
Yeah.
she's letting them stay at her apartment, which like, good for her. Like, I love that full circle. Like, okay, like I dated your soon-to-be ex-husband, and now we're best friends, and now you're divorcing. Like, they're probably like drinking wine and having a great time.
If Taylor's doing anything with anybody, it is drinking wine.
And baking or something.
That woman is always... Why is she always making cookies and drinking wine? Taylor said, if I have one goal in life, it's to have cats and drink wine.
But then I'm like, clearly you do a lot more.
Yeah. It's funny how busy somebody can be and to still hit the markers of like the most average. She said, I'm gonna drink wine, I'm gonna have cats, I'm gonna bake cookies. I'm also going to be the biggest pop star in the world. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna drink wine with my cats.
Yeah.
And make cookies.
She said, I'm just a girl.
She's I'm just a silly little wine lady, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, those
she's
like
real.
TJ Maxx alcoholic signs. There's an SNL skit about that where it's like, I'm not me if I haven't had my Pinot Grigio.
Those classics at like Hobby Lobby and
Hobby Lobby.
not Hobby Lobby, but like
Not Hobby Lobby.
I haven't been there since I was like a small child, but that's what I remember there. Scary place.
You know what else is a scary place?
What?
The picket lines.
Oh, so true.
The Drew Barrymore incident with the strike. Now, as of last time we talked about this, I believe that she had an apology out, but it wasn't really one that was well accepted. So she's had to re-apologize because her apology was not accepted. Because before she was like, I'm so sorry that everyone feels this way. I'm also going to be doing it anyway. I don't really care. So this time she said on Insta, I am making the decision to pause the show's premiere until the strike is over. I have no words to express my deepest apologies to anyone I have hurt, and, of course, to our incredible team who works on the show and has made it what it is today. better apology. How do we feel?
I do think it's better. I kind of wish, because when this all happened, like my thought process, which I like Drew Barrymore in general, so I'm like, I don't want to be like giving her a pass about any of it. But part of me was like, well, maybe it's because like, you know, it isn't like a scripted show, and like obviously that show has writing, but there's so many other people that go into a movie set, you know, like PAs and all the people directing people. There's so many like moving parts, I feel like, for a show like that. So maybe she was feeling pressure, like in the way of like, well, like all these people are not getting paid and like not working. Like, so maybe she was like, well, I want them to have a job. So she's like, didn't put the writing on the back burner or something. Like, I'm like, maybe she was just like thinking about the other people who help her. Yeah. But I wish, like, now I'm like, okay, if that was the truth, like, you could have talked about that. Like, say she was just like, okay, well, I had pressure from all my producers and PAs and people on set that they needed work. Like, she could have just talked about the struggle of the other people besides the writers. Obviously, they're all, like, not working. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know. I'm like, but what? I'm like, if that's true, like, why didn't you talk about it? Like, because now I'm just like, okay, like, I feel like just these non-apologies always sound like a notes app, and they always are very similar. And like, obviously the second one is better, but I'm still just like, Drew Barrymore, I feel like, is a celebrity that, you know, benefits from being really like honest and, you know, having like going through a lot of real stuff in her life. So I'm like,
her reputation.
Yeah. So it's like, if that's your reputation, like, why not just like be really blunt and real in your apology? Because I think that would do a lot better for her PR wise.
Entirely. Yeah. I mean, she messed up. She messed up big time, and she has an apology there. It's a decent one now, but does that mean that it's going to affect her in the future? I don't know.
It sucks because it's like, I feel like it's hard to be like, I know that this will happen in the future, but also I feel like things like this have happened and we move past it, unfortunately, and we don't really hold people accountable. So I don't know. My prediction is like when the first episode does come back, it's probably going to be like first half of it is like her just like
an apology.
It's going to be like a whole long apology. She's going to be like cross-legged
on the floor,
no shoes, like
we have to
messy
talk.
Hair. Yeah, and she's gonna be like,
well, that's what she did for her apology video. But.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be that on a greater scale. I didn't know it was a video. Okay, girl. Then why didn't you just say what you thought?
That's what I'm saying.
I thought it was a
PR statement.
Yeah.
No, theirs was a video. I mean, she probably had it written out in front of her, but still, that's just where it gets messy. But I don't know. I think that this will haunt her for a little while, but I don't think it's going to affect her opportunities. I think that it's something that she can't really shake now, which is, hey, I mean, you put yourself in that position, I guess.
Yeah. It's like you begged the question. It sucks. It's like she was the one person. Like, I could see like a Jimmy Fallon or like.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
One of those people being like questioning the writers, you know, whatever, questioning whether the shows needed to be halted. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it sucks when it's like someone who like, to me, I feel like is a better person, is the one who like asked the question, and like, you're going to take the wrath of anyone else who was even thinking about that. Like, you volunteered to be that martyr. And I can't say it's like anyone's fault but your own, but you did it.
Yeah, she made that decision. Well, and just in the nick of time did she make the wrong decision too, because the WGA strike is over now. The Writers Guild of America strike has ended this past Tuesday, the 26th. It was going for 148 days.
Insane.
But agreement was finally reached. The deal was called exceptional, with meaningful gains and protections for writers in every sector of the membership. I'm going to guess that this is still going to have a huge effect on media in the future.
Oh, for sure. And last time I checked, like, the SAG aspect of the strike, like, wasn't fully finished either.
Yes. So the SAG-AFTRA strike for the actors, they haven't ended that. And because a lot of the actors were joining the writers for their strike, as they should have, a lot of the writers are still striking because they're out there with the actors on the actors' strike.
Yeah.
So it's just like, this stuff isn't going to end until we get something right happening.
Yeah.
As long as these like execs are milking actual talent for all it's worth and making sure that the people actually putting in all the work aren't getting paid for it, there are gonna be strikes.
Yeah,
They
and
better learn.
it's ridiculous too because how many situations on like larger and smaller scales do we face things that are like, oh, like the arts aren't whatever supported in the best way or don't have funding, but it's like, no, this is literally about like streaming residuals and people not being like compensated when these massive mega companies that are like continually becoming bigger monopolies with so many more streaming services, they have so much money. It's never like a lack of like support or like money or anything. It's just greed. It's always just like big companies being greedy.
Literally.
And it makes me sick.
It makes me sick.
Makes me so sick.
I can't
Yeah.
do all that. Well, now that we're a solid half hour into this, what about we talk about new stuff, you know?
Perfect.
So, with the new media we have
Coming soon to a screen near you.
now, have you listened to Scarlet?
I did listen to most of it, and I checked that runtime, and I saw it was 17 songs, and
And
I
you
was
said,
like, and I said, Mama, a lot of these sound very similar. So I said, I'm gonna skip around.
So, this is Doja Cat's new album, Scarlet, which has been a messy buzz, but, you know. Do you know the lowdown on all the Doja drama?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I'm on my phone every day. Too much.
Yeah. There was a whole lot of fighting with fans over like threads and Twitter. And she was saying this and that about how, well, you shouldn't call yourself kittens. That's jobless behavior. And then somebody is like, well, you gave us that fan name. And she's like, okay, go work a job and speak to your mom. And they're like, what do you want us to call you? And she's like, leave. Like, Doja was just kind of screwing around, which that's what she does. She's always done that. Anyone that has tried to act like Doja just went off the rails, no, she's always been kind of unserious online. That was her thing.
She also, I remember, didn't she fight with Noah Schnapp and
Noah Schnapp, yep.
And some lady who was like, I think Doja Cat has had plastic surgery, and she like tried to dox her on live or something. Maybe not dox, but she was like,
Probably.
mad.
No, and that's Doja Cat core, and that's okay because it's funny.
It's like, it's a balance of like, that's your brand is like being funny and like being out of pocket, but then it's also like, I do think Doja might need to like just step away because I can't think of also that someone as famous as her who like just goes on Instagram Live every day and just like
Says the
does
stuff she says.
Yeah, and it's like there's a level where it's like I feel like respecting fans is somewhat important where it's like, you know, they gave you your platform, they're the reason you have your platform and your money, but then also like stan culture is also just like way too insane because why are you like berating Doja Cat on Twitter every day? But also it's like she doesn't even need to have a presence like that to like make money. Like she could release that album and go sit quiet.
Yeah, no, she is actively putting herself in all of the situations that she's in, and I do blame her for a lot of that. I just also understand that when you feel like people are ragging on a sincere part of you, it's probably difficult to not fight back.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want to stand up for yourself. And I think that's a big thing she's felt like she's had to do her whole career. A lot of people are actually arguing that this album is kind of just her trying to be like, people said I couldn't rap. Well, here's an entire album of me rapping. Here's less poppy sound. Here's me rapping.
But then it's like, I feel like
kind of the same old.
And I feel like a song would start and I'd be like, oh, like this samples, like one song like sampled like I'm Not in Love, I think it's by 10cc, and I was like, oh my god, like I love that song, like this might be good, and it was just at the beginning, and then it's just a normal like trap beat the rest of the song. Or I'd be like I feel like the one song everyone likes is like Agora Hills, and I was like, this one's like okay, but it's mainly like just the music. Like it's mainly just the production, the sound sounds good.
Yeah, it's not
I feel like it's
herself.
There's not that many songs that are like all around great.
Yeah.
To me.
When I went through it, and I had a coworker who was like, all of it's trash. I hated all of it. I got Doja tickets, now I have to get rid of them because I don't know what to do because this album sucked. And I was like,
she's
okay.
gonna sing the hits.
Yeah.
She's gonna sing Say So, maybe.
Don't be silly.
Hopefully. But
well, actually. But
that might be too pop. That
might be too pop.
She's like,
all
I
that
can't.
mediocre pop that you guys fell for. Okay, Doja.
Also, that's the thing about that whole thing that I was like, let's be serious. I feel like Doja Cat likes cool music. Like, I feel like I've seen a clip of her talking about all the, like, she was like shuffling songs on live, and I was like, okay. But then I'm like, you make, like, not that her pop music was bad. Like, I loved Hot Pink. Like, that was such a moment in 2019.
Absolutely.
But it's like, don't like try to rebrand and do a new like visual aesthetic and then genuinely like I forgot. I was listening to it and I was like, what's so different about this? And I was like, I guess there is more rapping. Like, that's the only thing that's different. Like, the production is still the same. It's not even like crazy. Like, I thought it was going to be like new metal, like grungy rap or something.
Yeah, and
it's just top 40. It sounds the same. Like, don't be upset. People are going to be disappointed if you visually make yourself, oh, I'm demon, like, I sold my soul. But then the music is still just, like, the same stuff you've been releasing for years. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, like, she very much is giving, like, I'm trying to be rebellious.
Yeah, she does kind of feel like she's in her 17-year-old breaking away from her parents phase, which is ironic because this is a grown woman. But
Very
I don't
grown.
know. I had some issues with some of the songs on the album, but I did add a lot of them to my playlists. Some of my favorites were F***K the Girls,
one
because
was
I
fun.
can't say the real name, but I like it. Go Off, really chill. I like the vibe of that. Agora Hills I did have listed. And then Ouchies, which is apparently about Cardi B.
Oh.
From what people are saying, it's like her like clapping back at Cardi B, which sure, whatever. I don't really care about that, but it's a good song.
I didn't even know they had beef.
Yeah. Well, girl, everybody's got to have beef these days.
I guess I can't be shocked, but
We're all mad, aren't we?
yeah, for sure. I always just was like, isn't it Nicki? I was like, it's Nicki Cardi beef. I forgot Doja could even have the beef with them, but
Whoever she wants, she'll pick a fight.
she spins a wheel and she's like, who do
Who
I
am I
fight?
mad at today?
She's like, and it's like, you know what it is? Like, to me, it is like the less funny, iconic version of like Azalea Banks.
Oh, God. Azalea Banks may be homophobic, but she's funny about it.
But like, she knows how to do a one-liner. She will
does.
never back down. And yeah, like and her music is like good. Like, I love her music, sorry, but
No, it's pretty good.
it's just like, I just need like you know what? If Doja was just like, I hate my fans, y'all suck, and I'm gonna keep releasing music. If either the music was better or she never like backed down from whatever stance it was, I would
might
be
work
like, okay, I respect it.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because she'll go on those Twitter tirades and then she'll be at like a pop-up in a store and there's a video of her like actually reaching out to fans behind the glass and they're like, oh my God, Doja. And she's like, I love you guys. Like, and it seems very sincere. So it's like this girl just actually has no serious opinion, but is loudly making them clear.
She's like, it was all a lie.
Yeah. All a lie. A lie. I love Liverpool accents. Can we?
The Brits are like my fave and my least fave. Like, they're just so iconic and they don't even know.
Yeah. Because I either like this or you like this. You're a chav.
The chav.
I love a chav.
Hey, yo, chav check. Like, that was my,
I'm from Essex.
that was my wave. Like, I loved, I'm a Manchester girl, don't hate me. Like, that slays.
That was kind of good.
Thank you.
So, I love a good so. So actually, the album's like actual critical success all over the place.
Oh.
So Pitchfork gave it a 5.9 out of 10, which like 6 is not great for Pitchfork. It's not like the worst, but
Yeah. It's like, it could be way better, but it also could be way worse.
this is true. They called it an uneven album that is accomplished, but gets bogged down in reactive and repetitive songs, which I can't say I disagree. Like, are a lot of the songs just her commenting on stuff that just happened in the past couple months? Yeah. Does that mean it's kind of not very evergreen content and it's kind of going to probably fall to the wayside soon? Yeah. If she wanted a successful album that's going to stream in the future, when she talks about having money, blah, 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 so much on this album, not really setting up your case well there.
Yeah.
But Metacritic gave it a 72 out of 100, which, you know, that's better. It would be a 7.2 out of 10 if I'm doing my very difficult math correctly. Variety gave it a 95.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I know, it's a big difference, saying the album is loaded with singles, but it's a real album, with most of the other songs branching out her sound and showing off her killer flow.
Not it being... It's an album.
It's
95.
music. With 17 tracks spanning almost an hour, it sags in a couple of spots, but Scarlet sets a new bar on multiple levels, and not just for female rappers.
Okay. It's definitely a review.
Yeah, Variety's kind of the outlier there.
Yeah. Did y'all get paid?
Yeah.
Just
See,
kidding.
and I wouldn't give it a 60 or a 70. I would also not give it a 95. Like, in my head, this is like an 85 album. There is multiple good songs on here. This is something that you can listen through and not be pained by, but it's not something where I want to get a vinyl and set that thing there and like listen to that on a daily basis. It's something where I want to add a third to half of the album to some different playlists, and then remember that they exist when they pop up in my playlist and be really excited to listen to them.
Yeah. I feel like it's like good, like, I don't know. Like, I always listen to like, I don't know, sometimes hip hop, but also just like upbeat stuff, like walking to class or like, I don't know, just when I need to shuffle a playlist. And I feel like that's a good spot for it. I think, yeah, like I would agree, because I feel like the best songs were like the upbeat ones that were like, I don't know, they had something about them that stood out. I just keep thinking about Agora Hills. I can't remember which other ones off the top of my head that I really liked, but I don't know. Like, I would agree. Like, it's not bad. It's not painful to listen to. It's definitely like, it like has moments where it kind of like lulls in the middle, but like it's not bad, and it's not like I feel like I've heard so much worse music in my life.
Entirely. No, it's not bad. It just doesn't succeed in every way that it's supposed to. And that's not ideal, but it'll live, you know?
Right.
Have you seen the new iPhones, the iPhone 15s?
Vaguely, but I don't know if I like remember much about what I've seen.
Okay, so they all have USB-Cs, the universal port, which they're selling like is some crazy new feature, is just a European law. Like, Europe was like, hey, yo, Apple, actually you have to use USB-Cs now because everybody else does, and the fact that you're not is just isolating everything. Which is so funny to me, because then Apple's like, all new USB-C. It does all of these things. And it's like, Apple.
And it's like, you already use USB-Cs. You just didn't want to do it for the iPhone.
No, because you enjoyed being exclusive, which, like, sure, live your life, but you could have made a fancier Apple USB-C. Like, you never had to not do it. You just wanted to be exclusive.
Yeah, it's all about, what have we said this whole time? It's all about money. Like, they just want to make more money.
But now
you couldn't just share your phone charger with your roommate who has an Android. Of course not. You had to go get a different one. And it's been like that. Like, we've been in the trenches.
In the trenches. Well, apparently they're doing so many new things, which I don't think they actually are.
No.
It has a ceramic shield front, tougher than any smartphone glass, which we'll get to that, but it also comes in some lovely new pastel colors I might just show you here.
Oh,
I believe
throwback.
you've probably seen the pink.
Yes.
It is gorgeous.
I do love pink.
Am I going to get a pink phone? No, but it's very pretty. It is very rose quartz core.
True, and it's giving, I forgot which model it was, but do you remember like the iPhone like 5C or 7C or whatever? The ones that were like bright magenta or like blue and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And those were a hot commode back in the day.
A hot commode. Big yawn. Yeah, but like, I want the green. It's so pretty.
I love green. I think green's a really underrated color.
I feel like she's having her moment.
That's not you just saying that because he has a green water bottle.
I have a green laptop case. I have a green mouse pad. I have green keys.
But I just read myself because so do I. But
and we have to know our branding, and we have to know our truth, and we have to accept that.
True.
True down pats. Are you somebody that like changes your phones often? Is that not your gig?
I'm gonna be so honest. I don't think I've gotten a new phone for, I want to say like I feel like 20. I don't think I've gotten a new one since like 2019, 2020 because I need a new phone really bad. Like I'm starting to notice it. Like I feel like I got it like my freshman year of college. Like I feel like it's been a minute. I have an iPhone 11. If that
same.
Oh. Wow, I don't know anyone. Everyone I know has a bigger phone, a newer phone, something.
No. I'm here with my green 11. We really
Mine's black.
we really out here.
Oh no, mine's the way I forgot I have a colored phone.
Ma'am.
I never take that case off.
Okay.
I'm protected.
Oh. See, I just like clear cases with the designs. I got this from Etsy.
Oh, that's cute.
Right.
I used to have a clear case, but then it got nasty. Do you know the epidemic? Have you seen those people with the crusty?
Where they get yellow. I swap mine out every couple months, and I just like go back to an old one, and somehow it's fine. I don't really know what that's about, but
That's smart. I mean, they'll never get gross.
literally. No, my 11 isn't dead, but like the battery's not great. It's just kind of getting slower and slower by the day, you know?
My when I try to I'm like a very big app searcher. I click from my most used, and then I'm like, oh, where's this? And I just search it, and it takes twice as long probably. It's getting old.
She's getting there, guys.
I know. And I hate getting a new phone. It's like that's the thing. I admire y'all if you are the type of person that like gets a new phone, but I can't. Like it's too much like the transferring of data, like the time commitment to switching a phone. Like I'm sure it's been getting easier as time goes on, but to me it's like a huge commitment to like transfer the iCloud data and sit there while it updates. Like I don't have the patience.
No, it can be stressful. I feel you on that. I want to get a 15. I think I'm going to get the green 15, but I'm just like, it's such a commitment, and it's not cheap.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's time. Maybe you can upgrade on your phone plan.
Yeah, I've kind of been considering switching from my current phone, like, well, I'm on AT&T, so I'm like, also AT&T is so slow. I don't know if it's just Lincoln or what, but it's so slow. So I'm like, maybe I'll switch to Verizon, try to get a deal there, and then if I trade in my 11, I can get something off of that, and then I can get like a cheaper 15 and like finance it out.
Yeah,
like,
I could see that.
I'm praying to somebody.
I'll pray that it happens for you.
Oh, thank you.
'Cause I'm in the same boat.
Well, and then, so the 15 is like its own thing, but then there's the 15 Pro/Pro Max, and those are supposed to have, or it's just the Pro Max, one of them. I think it's just the Pro Max. Yes. It's supposed to have a titanium body, which is supposed to be like really light, but also like really sturdy, and it's not. So somebody had like a brake test where they like put their thumbs on the back and then like bend it, and mind you, when I first saw this, I was like, yeah, if you're going to try to break the phone, it's just going to break. But apparently they do this on like every new phone that comes out, and it's always fine. Like this 15, they did the thumb test, and it just went, and it was like, oh, okay.
And not for the like, was that like the official like demonstration or?
Oh, that was like the phone that they got.
Oh.
Oh, are you saying like, was that like at an event or something?
Oh, but it was just someone who got it and it broke.
Yeah, no, it's like one of those like review YouTubers that like has like every phone ever.
Justine.
Yeah, it was actually Justine.
Oh, well, she deserves a phone that works.
TBH, she was kind of all of the videos that I initially saw on the 15. I'm not gonna lie.
She's still out here.
She really is. There was this video of like somebody diving headfirst off a cliff, and then the caption was like, Justine when somebody's iPhone goes off. And then she stitched the video and she was like, that's so true.
She is so like OG YouTube coded, and she has just never changed. Like,
No, the way her and like Rosanna Pansino are besties.
I don't know if I remember who that is.
Rosanna Pansino is the baking girl, Nerdy Nummies, if you remember that at all. So she would bake a bunch of like gaming, like cakes and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just like, she really is kind of OG YouTube. But it's just so funny to me.
No, it's just like, I can't believe this shtick is still like going.
Girl. When are you going to cut it with Apple? How much money they giving you?
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, they must be paying you good.
I think, okay, she gets invited to the big events, and I think she gets free products. I don't think Apple pays her for promotions or anything. I think she literally is just making these because she has a passion, which like, oh, okay.
She is capitalism's girl. Like, imagine your whole passion is just like, it's not like I love electronics. Like, she doesn't like fix computers and Dells and whatever. She's just like loves Apple.
Yeah.
And that's her calling.
You know what my calling is?
What?
Troye Sivan's new singles. Have you been listening?
I am an OG Troye girl. Like, love.
Okay, so he has a new album coming out. I don't know exactly when. Probably like a month. Should have noted that down, but
I want to say it's late October-ish.
Yeah. And these singles that have come out so far are so good. I like them a lot.
I do too. think that this is kind of an epidemic of being chronically online. Like, maybe we're gonna like delve into like the people about the sample of you just got me started.
Yeah.
People don't like the sample, but it's like, dude, it's because one person on Twitter was like, oh, this is kind of funky, and they threw the sample in, and then everyone has to like switch up what they thought, because I thought it was really good. Like, the sample is a little jarring, but like I still like the song, and it doesn't like take me out.
Yeah. So in Got Me Started, his newest single, he sampled, I believe it's called Shooting Stars, which you would probably know better as the like, how do you, it's like the falling in space meme from like 5 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't remember the OG video, but it was probably like a cat or something.
Yeah, normally it's
falling.
like a cat.
But it's just like a sound. It's just the song in the background. So I feel like it had so many meanings.
Literally. But it's such a good song.
I like it. I really like the visuals that he's going for.
Yes. So in these new music videos, Troy has like an entire cinematography, choreography. He probably had like the moodest board of mood boards ever. You know, like the branding is down. It is cool 90s period pap, you know? Those aren't words, but you understand me, right? You see me? It's so cool. It's so cool.
It's very like Eastern European, like 90s Euro pop, but also moodier. Like, I don't want to say not grungier, but like darker. Like the color palette isn't like bright Euro 90s dance, but like that's like the fashion, I think.
Yeah. And it is inherently very sexual, but not in a sexual for its own sake way. It's in the way of like exploration and just like, I don't want to say be yourself, but you know, embracing authenticity. And like a big part of just Got Me Started, sorry, is the song title, is like just doing it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think a big theme in this album is exploring yourself down every lane, even in like the grittiest, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of these visuals are like kind of the nasty nightclub vibe, or like cement room, or like literally, I mean, the vinyl cover
It's like him in between the guy's legs, but it's like cute.
Yeah, and then one of the other covers is a slightly different thing. Maybe if you can imagine a hole covered in tape and what that might mean. Anyway, like
I support him.
It is very much like it's just a very queer album, and it's very exciting to see.
But it's like, not, I'm like trying to think of a way that doesn't sound like, it's called like the age of pleasure. Like, it's just like about the idea of like euphoria. It's not like, I don't know. I love the idea of exploring that, because I feel like, you know, pop music is obviously like historically very sexual, but it's not just like, I don't know. I feel like
no, it feels sexual
like,
in such an intellectual way.
Yeah, and also, yeah, I think that's really true. And also like not male gazy.
No,
it's just like,
which is ironic because it's about a bunch of guys, but yeah.
But like,
I mean, hey, there were girls kissing in the thing. Hey,
that's true. But also, I feel like the male gaze, you know, is pretty much like heterosexual. Like, I don't think male gaze. I feel like male gaze doesn't necessarily apply to like
gay men.
Yeah, because it's about patriarchy, and I feel like patriarchy is already gonna like look down upon like queer love in any way.
Which is ironically enough, just because it relates back to women, which women bad, but you know.
And I could talk about that for about a whole like 8 hours. Like, we could be here all night.
Yeah, but we're here to talk about videos where Troye Sivan's doing a funny little dance. So.
Exactly. Oh, and I wish I could dance so bad, just because I want to learn that like shimmy.
It's so cool.
It's just like, and like part of the dance, he like pulls his pants down, but it's just like so cool. Like, it sounds
tasteful.
You hear me say that, and you're probably like, what? Like, that sounds stupid, but it's like, no, like, it's so cool. And I loved the first, like, Rush was obviously good too. Just like good dance pop.
No, for real. I'm so excited for this album, honestly, because I haven't actively listened to Troye since like Blue Neighborhood. Yes, I've listened to singles. Yes, bits and pieces of Troye has made it into my playlist. Of course, I have Strawberries and Cigarettes on there. Of course, I have Easy somewhere. But like I haven't like listened through these albums. When this album comes out, I will be.
Yes. I think it's definitely like brought in like a more mature audience maybe too, like from people who like may have never known that Troye Sivan was just like a YouTube kid at one point. Which I think is interesting because there's definitely artists where they're always famous and I'm like, I will always know you as whatever you started from. But then there's people like Troy or like maybe like a Justin Bieber. Like I forget that that's how they, like I don't forget about Troy, but I know like I feel like he's finally at that level of like fame where like he's just a musician. Like no one knows that. People probably forget. Or like
I think Conan got there too.
Yeah. Oh, that's so. I love that full circle. Like they made it. Because I remember I didn't watch Conan as much, but I remember finding him like maybe when he released like one song and he was like trying to go to UCLA. And I remember the video where he was like, I'm gonna drop out. Like I'm really gonna pursue this thing. And then like he did, and he did.
Conan Gray's the only concert I've ever gone and seen.
Really?
Down pat.
Who was the opener? Was it Mallrat?
Yeah, it was some girl. It was some girl that I don't
say,
really remember, but she was cool.
That's okay. Well, I was just gonna say like I remember like you should listen to Mallrat. She's really good. But I remember being like, oh, I think she's opening for Conan, or she opened for Conan Gray. That's so cool. Like I was like, she's famous.
She's famous.
I'm always like circling back to some other thing I was talking about, but I love the pattern. I love the circle of life.
The circle of life. I've never seen Lion King, but I'm gonna pretend I did.
I think you're real though, because you like I also have never watched I haven't watched a Disney movie since I was like 12 years old, and like I won't. I just won't. I just like don't I don't know. I think too much about Disney adults maybe, but I just don't feel drawn to watching Disney movies as an adult. But as a kid, like I have seen The Lion King. That one was really good to me, but did you not watch any in childhood either? Or you just
I mean, I saw a couple. Like I saw Hercules probably 10 times, but that's cuz it was always played in middle school. So
okay, so you definitely have a history though. Okay.
A teeny bit.
I feel like that's one I never saw, which is funny. But
Dare I come back to Taylor Swift?
Yes.
She has been in the media a lot recently because of a football boy.
She's with who?
It's a crazy clash.
I don't care. I don't care about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I'll say it. Why?
I think we should just let her be. Because I'm done. Like, I saw on Spotify, like, the picture of her, like, in the box seat was already, like, the cover of a tailgate playlist.
Ugh.
I was like, it's been about 2 days.
I don't care.
I'm already over it.
Yeah. I'll give you the lowdown. For those of you that did not know, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, some, like, Chiefs guy, football man, they've been all, like, schmoozling around a little bit. There was this whole thing where he was like, I wanted to see Taylor when I was at the Eras tour, her concert. But she didn't want to see anyone, and I was like really butthurt. But I'm gonna invite her to my game. And then he did, and then she showed up and she was in the box with his mom, and they were talking and they were cheering him on. And then when they left the game, Taylor and Mr. Kelce drove off together, which like cool. Good for them. I don't care.
I don't either. I'm very like, I think it's kind of corny to like really care about who celebrities are dating.
Oh, played out. And it's not like I have an entire segment on this show that I'm going to be doing every episode about it.
No, but here's the thing. I mean it in the way of like, girl, like I don't care about like watching, like, okay, cool, they're dating. Like I love like I like gossip. Like I want to be up on the gossip, but like, I don't need to like, I feel kind of weird like looking at photos of them like those, there were like more today, there were like photos of her released like around like hugging him, like I don't know, she looks like she's kind of like leaning on him or maybe sitting on his lap or something, but that's what I mean, like
it feels too private.
Yeah, like I'm all about like let's gossip, like who's dating who, but that's okay.
Yeah,
like I want to know who's with who, but then I'm like, okay, like he does like, let's let, like, especially maybe Taylor Swift. I feel like it's because we didn't hear about her dating for so long because she was in a like long-term relationship, and now it's
Mr.
like
Joe Alwyn.
Field day, like now she's dating, like we're gonna hear about every boy, like it's just like let her be. And let them all be.
And let them all be.
Like, let's it's tea and then, okay.
And then we move on.
Yes.
Well, because did you hear about like Avan Jogia and Halsey?
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Avan
man.
Jogia, Beck from Victorious, as you probably know him, and Halsey, aka Red, my hair is red. If you haven't seen that video, look it up. I swear I'm not insane. It is really funny. Anyway, I had it written down as "Baby, hold me closer, girl." So baby, hold me closer.
What about the video of her singing Blink-182 in the mall?
Ah! She's like, if you're gonna make me, girl.
She's like Debbie Ryan, like, I can sing if you want.
Shut up. Well, no, but like with that stuff, people get so creepy. So they're like, Avan Jogia was, he was spotted with Halsey. They were seen kissing, holding hands, and embracing at a show in Barcelona. And it's like, that's not my business.
Right. Like, oh, it's tea, they're dating. But then I'm like, okay, like, I know they're dating. That's all. We can, chapter 2, like, let's move on.
Let's give
like,
them a little bit of privacy.
yeah. And also, I think of myself in those situations. Like, if I was one of the people in the couple and I had to think about, like, my body positioning when I'm, like, at a bar or at a concert or doing anything public, like, I would freak out. Like, I don't think I could do it.
It's so like, it's so weird. And that's exactly why I'm going to do it every episode and then talk about all the little details and make everybody uncomfortable. Because that's my job as a professional journalist.
But I think we should be up to date on the news. And I think this is news that's important and that matters because...
Because Avan Jogia is hot.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't want to hear any other reasons.
And yeah, that's all I need to know about that. I'm like, okay.
He's so pretty.
No, and it's like, he's cuffed. Like, okay, moving on.
But honestly, if you've seen anything of him on TikTok in the past like year and a half, he's kind of a weirdo too.
He is kind of corny. He is really corny.
Yeah, I think they'll match energies well. Because I don't, as much as it's easy to make fun of Halsey because she gives you so much material. Like,
Yeah.
the girl's a little weirdo. She's kind of quirky. She's kind of like other girls.
That is definitely her brand. It's been, she loves that brand too.
She does.
It's been milked.
Oh, but to the same point, it's like I see it for her and I see them. I think she's a well-meaning person and I think they'll be cute together. Will they last? I don't know. But I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
I really am.
I'm always just so like happy and wishing them nothing but the best.
Nothing but the best. In terms of nothing but the best, I think we might be reaching our time here.
Yeah.
Miss Helen, I would like to give you the kindest of thanks
Of course.
for
Thank
being
you.
here, for showing up.
No, this was so fun. Like, I am so honored to be here. Like, thank you.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Would you have anything to plug, perhaps?
You can follow me on Instagram. That's my favorite social media platform. Even though I don't post all the time, but I definitely will post like my favorite song that I'm listening to at the moment on there. Just at @HelenHoward_. And you can also listen to my radio show on KRNU 90.3 FM. It is from 2 to 3 on Fridays. And I basically play like all the new music that I'm sent as music director. And it's really fun. But yeah.
That does sound really fun. Well, thank you so much for being here, Helen.
Thank you.
And I'm going to sign us out for our second episode of No Need to Scroll. Thank you for listening.